Beatrix, how are you?
Good and you.
Nice to have you back on the show.
Good to be back.
Yeah, for those watching, welcome to another episode. If you enjoy marketing and business content, I want to politely ask that you maybe consider liking and subscribing. It helps me deal with my own insecurities as the followers grow. No, I'm joking. I really enjoy creating this content for you, and I hope there's value in it for you. And today, I've got our head of e-commerce, Bia van die Kerk, joining us. And we're going to be talking a little bit about what's working right now on Meta Ads. So, Bia, without any further ado, let's just dive straight into it, man. What do you think is working right now? I mean, we've worked with over 500 companies in the last few years. We've got an average of probably about 100 clients on our books on any given time. What have you seen that's working right now that people can maybe copy and paste?
So, I've actually recently created like a winning recipe. And when I look at a few accounts, I think this is actually not going to work for all accounts. It's not going to work for all the brands. But we have seen some commonalities between these different accounts that we've tested these things out. So a massive thing that is currently working, especially for established brands at this stage, is Advantage Plus shopping campaigns. It's basically just the new, I'm saying it's new, but it's been added, for a year plus now.
Yeah.
But it's only been recently really been used on all the accounts, and especially the established accounts that actually have data. And what it is it's giving Meta's algorithm the control to, we're not able to add in the targeting or manual targeting or add in, basically just letting go of control.
And in a way, I think Advantage Plus, from what I've seen, there's still sometimes a place to test out your traditional funnel structures. Because I think last year, Gil and I had a conversation where we spoke about Advantage Plus versus the traditional funnel structures that we used to do, top of funnel, middle funnel, bottom funnel. And I don't know if this is the case, and I would love to hear your thoughts on it. Back then, it was kind of like 50-50. You could either do Advantage Plus or you could do that. If this didn't work, move to Advantage Plus. If this didn't work, go back to the traditional funnel structure. What in your mind have you seen? Is Advantage Plus definitely outweighing the traditional way of doing things, or is there still room for it?
I would say that majority of the brands and accounts that we've worked with, Advantage Plus is the way to go. Especially like I mentioned, like if you have data and if Meta already knows who your audience, who you actually want to target, who your audience is, who's your ideal customer, then it can use its machine learning and go and find those ideal customers in this broad audience through Advantage Plus shopping campaigns. But quite recently, we've also, again, used some manual campaigns where we went back to the funnel structure, where we had interest targeting and lookalike targeting and tested those things out. And there's also still a space for that out there.
Yeah.
So what I'm currently doing is we are using Advantage Plus shopping campaigns as well as manual campaigns where you actually have to choose an audience and have different audiences tested out different audiences. And yeah, I've seen 50-50 at this stage as well.
So in my mind, I think a business with maybe a limited amount of products who is brand new to running Facebook ads will most likely see massive success with Advantage Plus, because the algorithm will have a good idea of who those 4 or 5 products might be for, purely because of the data pool of information that's so small, and in order for it to learn and understand who the brand is suited to. But if you've maybe got a business with multiple SKUs, hundreds of different types of SKUs, and you're catering for various types of pain points, not just one specific thing, maybe Advantage Plus might not always be as effective purely because of all the various amounts of information that is actually being prompted into the AI. It's like ChatGPT.
Literally.
When you give ChatGPT a very vague prompt, it's going to get a very vague result back. But when you give it a very specific prompt, you really get really good results back. So in my mind, is it safe to assume that the more data the store has, the better, but also it could create complexities for the AI if it's not 100% sure for who all these different products are actually suited to?
I think
Does
a
it
good
make sense what I'm
example,
saying?
a good example is, for example, let's say you've got a brand and it's only focused on women losing weight.
Yes.
You've got weight loss products
If
here
you're in a specific niche.
specifically for women. Your whole brand is focused around that. that's where Advantage Plus would work really, really well, because our algorithm already learned through the Meta's machine learning that this is the exact type of people that we need or that we want to sell to. And I think that's where the difference comes in with manual campaigns compared
The bigger
to
the store and the bigger your target audience and the more different personas you have, maybe the more strategic you have to get into still telling the AI what to do. There's probably a lot of people listening to this that think, well, I can go and set up my own Advantage Plus campaigns and that'll be the end of it. My business is just going to grow. Obviously, that's not the case. And maybe we can just touch on, even if you're looking at something like Advantage Plus that is allowing the algorithm to do a lot more of the heavy lifting, there is now an additional responsibility on whoever is managing those ads, whether it's the business owner or the agency or the marketing person in that company, to now probably do more of the creative side of things. Because from what I understand and from what I've seen is that the creative is essentially now that's doing the heavy lifting and not so much and not so much the human anymore, specifically from an Advantage Plus standpoint.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that's the thing. If you need to have creative control over what you put into the Advantage Plus shopping campaign. There's testing that needs to happen. There's different hooks that you need to test out. There's a multiple elements that still needs work to be done by a human. That Advantage Plus shopping campaign can't, the machine learning can't help you with that.
In a nutshell, the algorithm has become more creative driven than target driven. That's really a nice way to sum it up. But however, the more complex the business and the more personas you have that you're actually trying to reach and target and sell products to, the more you still have to try and control who you're actually targeting, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So Advantage Plus is working, and I think the conclusion is that it's something worth playing around with, especially if you're starting out, but there is a lot more effort that has to be put into the creatives because the audience fatigue and the pools that Meta reaches out to and targets can easily reach a level of how do I say, despondence almost, like you need to make sure that you always test new creatives because the AI is dependent on what you feed it, and that's essentially the only thing that you feed it. I think we spoke about it in a podcast before as well. It's like the actual words that you say in the video gets transcribed by Meta, and that helps improve the targeting. The actual copy and subtitles itself, also the copy that you use in the blurb, the headline, all of that now is actually what the AI is leveraging in order to find the right consumers, plus what's the content is on your website. And that's why I'm alluding to the fact that more effort has to be put into the creative side of things.
Definitely.
So Advantage Plus, great. Is there anything else that we can maybe add that people might be keen to test?
So together with when you have the data, again, taking Meta's algorithm and machine learning, the next thing that I would definitely, if you're not testing this already, I would definitely recommend adding something in like this. We are using flexible ad formats. So basically just what that is it's almost like you're feeding the bot, you're feeding Meta with multiple different creatives, whether it's statics, videos, whatever it is.
Almost like dynamic creatives?
Like dynamic creatives.
What's
so that's
the main
basically the
difference between
new.
the two?
No, there's not really a main difference between the two. It's just now a feature that can be seen on the ad level and not so much on the ad set level anymore. So you can have different flexible ads within one ad set or one audience.
Okay, and we've seen that works better than...
We've seen that works really, really well, especially if you take all your winning content. So the winning videos, the winning hooks, the winning UGCs, all those content, you add it into a flexible ad format, and Meta's algorithm then goes and finds, okay, this person generally converts better on a video ad. So out of these 10 creatives that I've been fed now, I will show this person the video ad. Okay. Whereas someone else might convert more to, or generally converts on a carousel ad or a static ad with a review on it. So that's just how the algorithm uses its machine learning to show the exact type of creative to a person that they are most likely to convert.
So we've got Advantage Plus, we've got flexible ads, which is basically another, it's not dynamic. Why would, out of interest, again, I'm a little bit ignorant because I'm not into the e-commerce ads as much as I used to be. So this is really just interesting for me. Like, do we still have the dynamic creative selection?
So dynamic creatives basically have fallen away and have been replaced with flexible ads. There was actually this notification on the ad set level when you wanted to turn on dynamic ads. It said that this feature is falling away soon. I have seen a few accounts that still have it on, so a few ad accounts still have that feature. but flexible ad formats would still be available for that. And the only reason why I would suggest that flexible is slightly more improved than the dynamic ads feature is that with a flexible ad, you can have multiple different ads on the ad level. So if you have one ad with 10 creatives in that flexible ad, and then the next ad, you can have 10 creatives there as well, next ad 10 creatives there. You can have
Okay.
multiple different ads
Which
on the
dynamic
ad
creatives didn't
level.
allow you to have,
Dynamic creatives, you can only have one ad set with
Yes.
one ad
Okay.
inside.
Yeah, okay. All right. That makes sense.
So that's the improvement. That also allows you to do a bit more testing. Let's
Yeah.
say you have a flexible ad format with 10 images or statics compared to a flexible ad with 10 videos on the same ad level.
Cool.
That then just you can test between the two.
Cool. So we've got Advantage Plus, flexible ads, and this is just predominantly for e-commerce stores that we're talking now. Anything else that's worth testing? That's working?
What is working now?
Or
It
again?
used to work again. It used to work really well. Kind of faded since the introduction of Advantage Plus shopping campaigns. But we've retested it recently and we've seen that lookalike audience is back. So we've been testing it now, I think it was about 3 months. And that audience actually outperforms any other audience or ad set or
Really?
campaign that we have currently. So it was just for me, like it
Or
was,
just for specific clients, or just in general, or are you speaking from your own point of view or the whole team's point of view?
well, more of us have now tested it
Okay.
out. So we've seen that in general for e-commerce brands specifically,
Yeah.
it's something, if you have the data, if it's big enough, that's the thing.
Yeah.
If your lookalike audience is only 300,000 people in there, that could work for a while. But the lookalike audience needs to be big enough and broad enough for, again, the algorithm to go and find those few that actually are wanting to purchase. What I think now is with the Advantage Plus shopping campaign where you actually have no control over the audience, there's a feature on the campaign level that says identify or specify your existing customers, like you can upload a list, and then also specify your engaged audience. So now I also saw that as, we're just feeding the algorithm more and more and more.
Yeah.
So they want to see what, even though they're not targeting that audience, it's not to say that they're going to target that audience, but they just want to see more accurately who is the actual pool of people that purchased before and who is your engaged audience currently. And that's where you upload your lists onto those audiences. And I think similar to Lookalike is it's just feeding the algorithm. I think there's also an option on the ad set level where you can say, use this audience, but also expand the audience if it's likely to perform better. So again, it's just bringing in like whatever you can feed that feed the algorithm and feed the AI. That's how you can get even better results. But it just needs to be a big enough audience. I think that's the big thing.
What kind of lookalikes are we talking about? Like, are we talking purchases?
Purchases, checkouts, and add to carts.
Yeah.
That would be your most ideal. And then obviously the other thing I've also seen as working now is lookalikes of your high value or value-based customers. So it's people who spend the most, more than your average order value. You have a list of those people. If it's enough, again, feed it in, and that actually works very well.
So is it still worth doing lookalike audiences based on website visits and engagement on your social? I mean, is that really still worth it?
I think it could be. I haven't seen success with that in the last. I think it's just too far away. Like it's not feeding it as much as it needs to. It is a good test still to do. I would say in the middle funnel.
Probably if you're starting out and you don't have a lot of purchases.
So exactly, if you're starting out and you don't have enough data, I would say stacking up your add to carts, checkouts, purchases, but together with that, you can add in your website purchases.
And as you get more data, you can start to separate those audiences.
Website visitors and social engagers, etc.
Advantage Plus, flexible ads, lookalikes are back. What else?
UGC.
UGC?
UGC.
Let's talk about UGC.
Oh, we can sit here for hours.
Well, we can do a separate podcast on that, which we'll do next.
We'll do.
But what do you feel is worth sharing on the UGC side?
The main thing with UGC, and it's almost like some clients think it's like, or some people think, it's a given. You need UGC, of course. I need it to post on my social media to make my page look pretty.
Yes.
That's not the case. We need UGC videos for meta ads, for your ads.
Yeah.
And the main reason for that is if someone, it's almost like a digital word of mouth where people are talking about your brand. It's not to say that they are actual influencers and having a massive influence. It's just different people talking about the brand, trying out the products, giving real reviews. And all of that just builds your credibility and, builds that whole awareness and credibility of the brand as a whole.
Yeah, I like to say that you can talk about your brand to the public, like you as the brand can talk to the public and say, hey, we are so amazing at this. We are so good at this. This is our products. These are our products. These are our unique selling points. This is our benefits. We're amazing. And that carries some level of engagement, maybe very little these days, because people don't really care about what the brands say anymore. They care about what people say about the brand. And it's almost like when someone else says good things about the brand, there's a higher level of trust and credibility that comes with it, as long as that's not an ambassador. So this is the thing, like back in the day, people used to sponsor athletes and they used to have ambassadors that got paid to say, I love the product. And I think the consumers started to see through all of that. And it's like, okay, you're getting paid to say this, so I don't really care much about what you're actually saying, because I know you're getting incentivized to say things that might not always have my best interest at heart. On the UGC side, part of that is true because people still pay creators to say certain things or to do or to test or to, but the way that video is created almost seems authentic, almost seems real. I believe UGC is going to follow a very similar route down the line in the next few years, where it will have a little bit lack of trust, because that's just, marketers ruin everything, right? That's what we do. We are exceptionally good at ruining all the cool shit. Like email came out and we just ruined it for everybody. We still make money from it, but then WhatsApp came out and we've started ruining it, and we're probably still going to ruin it at the end of the day. Facebook Messenger was a big thing back in the day with ManyChat. That came out and then we ruined that. So marketers are just good at ruining really cool stuff. And I think UGC is a really cool thing, which I think we're going to ruin. It's like, I think in the next 5 years, people are going to look at UGC content and go, yeah, how much did you get paid to say this?
Yeah, they're getting paid for this.
But for now, it's working really well.
Yeah.
And I think there's still a level of trust that goes behind it, as long as the video, I assume, is authentic and real. And it looks like someone... And my question is why does it work, right? Because there's a trust element. But does it work because it doesn't look like an ad? Because it actually looks like an organic thing that you see in your feed.
That's the thing. So people on social media want to scroll through. They want to scroll through videos. They want to see funny things. They want to see trends happening, or they want to relate to something
it goes under the radar.
Exactly.
So it's almost like the bullshit meter is not... Because when you see an ad, a static creative, immediately your bullshit meter is on, purely because you know that this is an ad. When you see a video where someone goes... do you struggle to sleep? Like, we can help you sleep. Then you go, okay, cool. Again, bullshit meters high. Yeah. You're trying to sell me a product. But when you have a piece of content that is an ad that actually looks just like another piece of content, it goes underneath that bullshit radar, and you're almost more receptive to what the other person is saying on the other side. That's
a big thing. I always say when you do UGC and when you actually get creators to create, look, it's creators. It's not influencers. It's not ambassadors. It's people. They don't even have to have a following on social media. It's real and raw people that just use the product. If they can make a video somewhat good quality, that would be amazing. But if you go too high production, it's gonna already start look like an ad, because now it's like this model, walking around, and it's this high production thing. Especially if that's not what the brand voice is about. Like if your targeting is not this high premium luxury feel, then exactly that's not what you want. So it needs to be real. It needs to be raw, authentic.
Yeah. That's what it comes back to. It's just authentic marketing. We're going to be moving into a world where authenticity is really what brands are going to have to focus on if they want to see traction in the market. Got a bit sidetracked there, but I think it's valuable. All right, I think that's it. Is there anything else we wanted to discuss? I think that was good.
Yeah.
I hope there was value in it for you. Much love to you guys, and all the best.
Cool.
Bye.
Bye.